I'm back for another episode of the Fly in the Wall show, man. I'm so happy and grateful for this episode. I believe this is the seventh episode of the Fly in the Wall show, man. I can't believe of season two. I'm so sorry. It's the seventh episode of the Fly in the Wall show, season two. I made it this far. 4 months ago, I was on episode one. Right, I started, during the pandemic. Something I had an idea. I had this idea for the past 2 years, and I let fear, I let doubt, I let just not starting, not trusting the process hold me back. But I will never let fear hold me back ever again. Here I am, episode seven, season two, man, season two, and I got a special guest. This is about to be an amazing conversation. I got the legendary music executive, marketing genius, power move maker, and shaker himself, Shawn Prez. Shawn Presidential. It's about to be an amazing conversation, man. Like, I've been, as soon as I lock this conversation in, this interview in, I've been counting down the minutes, seconds, hours, days, man. And let me say something, man. God is so interesting, right? Because out of all the interviews that I've been able to, lock in by the grace of God so far, you know, and not even just that, out of all the emails and the DM dives and all the things that I've done, this has been one of the easiest interviews I've ever locked in. And it's so crazy that I'm surprised, because I guess I'm still, humble. I don't really respect how far I've come, I guess, but it's like, yo, it was the easiest thing. I sent him a DM, I showed him some love on his page, and he was like, yeah, man, I'd love to do that. Send an email. Send him the email, respond back like in less than 10 minutes. He was like, yeah, I'm a patch in, you know, I don't want to butcher the young man's name, but his executive assistant is Chris Johnny, I believe Chris John, and Chris John. Shout out to Chris John or Chris Hunt. I'm gonna call you Chris. I don't want to butcher the brother's name. Shout out to Chris. He said I'm gonna put Chris in, and he's gonna help you, set it up. And it was like a boom, 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 boom. And I was just like, I got friends that I've been trying to lock in for months, friends that I've been trying to lock in for months, for weeks, some for years, and it hasn't even happened as easy as this. And I was just like, yeah, it was a lesson of really like teaching me my value and my worth. And I was just like, yeah, man, it really, what I'm saying. He was like, I'm excited to talk to you. And I'm just like, I'm excited to talk to you. So like, I'm ready for this conversation, man. I'm ready. I'm excited. You know, I'm excited for this conversation. So I'm a few minutes early. So now I wait, man. But for those that don't know Mr. Shawn Prez, man, I know I'm gonna let him talk. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, man. But Shawn Prez, music executive, right? This man, this man went from an intern at Bad Boy Entertainment to becoming, well, just he went from intern to, being in charge of the street team to being the vice president of promotions to becoming Diddy's road manager. I'm gonna say it again. He went from intern to being a vice president to becoming Diddy's manager. And the story gets better. The story gets better. This is the young man from South Bronx, from the hood, right? I ain't from New York. I'm not from my girlfriend from the Bronx. So shout out to my girlfriend Natalia, man. She's from the Bronx. She took me there before. It ain't the best of situations. You really gotta make it do. You gotta make do what you have and really push, push, push to get out of there. But I can only imagine, back in his day, before everything, before social media, before all these different things, existed. This is him growing up in the Bronx, the South Bronx, coming out of those situations to becoming who he is. One of the top music executives that was in the business. And then, of course, leaving that situation to becoming his own boss, right? CEO of Power Moves Inc., right? CEO of Global, Spin DJs, all these different things, hosting, the biggest award shows for DJs, right? Giving the DJs a platform. Cause let's be honest, the DJ is not really getting any love. It's usually the producers, the artists, like even the producers and the songwriters now are getting credit, but the DJs is actually breaking these songs and putting these songs on the air and letting people know who these people are. They're not really getting no love. But Mr. Prez, Shawn Prez, was the one to help put, give them their roses from now. You know what I'm saying? And there's a funny backstory because he said that he didn't even like DJs. He didn't even really want to be around them. But yet the same things that he didn't really want to be around ended up helping him in his career later on. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that, man. But, man, I can't believe I'm having this conversation right now, man. I mean, I can't believe I put the intent out there and I just did the work. And, I just attracted this conversation. And, that's a beautiful thing, man. I can't wait, man. His energy is amazing. I never met him. I never really had a conversation with him other than, through like DM and, Instagram comments, man. But I've been watching his videos. I could feel the energy. I could feel the energy. One of the first interviews that I've seen was, shout out to DJ EFN. He was one of my last recent guests, and I seen an interview that he had with Shawn, and I was just like, "Hey, who is this guy, man?" And I started just going down the video, and I started doing my research, and I was like, "Nah, I love this man's energy. I gotta talk to this man. I feel him. I could see like a part of me in him." I know that kind of sounds weird, but he's his own man. I'm my own man, but it's just like, it was just something about that energy. It was something about that hustle. It was something about that dog in him. And I was like, yeah, I got to talk to this man. I got to connect with this man. I got to have a conversation with this man. And that same day I had that feeling. I put it out there to the universe, and the rest is history, man. Now I'm just waiting to have this conversation, man. But I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. God is so good, and the universe is beyond abundant, man. We're going to have an amazing conversation, man. We're going to talk about overcoming fear. We're going to talk about the power of relationships. We're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about the law of attraction, right? We're going to talk about so many different things. We're going to talk about what he's doing next. What's good with him, what he's been up to, man. He's been a very busy man. I see he's on his motivational speaking tip, man. And let's be honest, man. I've been watching his videos and I've been feeling really inspired. I dropped a video today, and it's because I watched the video with him talking to Amanda Seals and another young man who actually it was like the video with the guy who had I forgot this guy, but he's in fashion. It was like the Ralph Lauren episode, and it was just like, I was inspired, man. And that's the importance of what it is that he does, and the power of your words. Your words are so important, man. It casts a spell over people. It could be good, it could be bad, man. But I'm charged up right now. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm happy and grateful for this opportunity, man. So now I wait for him to join the room, man. It's amazing, man. Fly on the Wall show, man. This is the Fly on the Wall show, man. It's only gonna get better and better and better. I claim it. I claim it. Wait. And I was saying before, I'm a little nervous, man. It's like every conversation I have, I'm a little nervous, man, but I just push through it. It don't matter who I'm talking to. I could be talking to anybody, man. I could be talking to anybody. I'm a little nervous because you always want to have a good impression. You know what I'm saying? You don't want anybody to get the wrong impression of you. You always want to provide value, man. And so, but at the end of the day, people are people, no matter who they are, big, small. You know what I'm saying? People are people. You never know who you're talking to. Always remember that. You never know who you're talking to. Never know who you're talking to, and that's important, man. So, well, excited, man. I'm excited, man. I'm so happy and grateful for this opportunity. I don't take this for granted. I've been waiting for this conversation, man. I've been waiting for this conversation, man. I'm excited. All I can say is I'm excited. Come a long way in these last 3 to 4 years. I'm just grinding and hustling and working and just putting my best foot forward. You know what I'm saying? If you would have asked me a few years ago if I would see myself doing what I'm doing now, I couldn't even tell you. I could tell you eventually. I could tell you that I'm gonna be doing big things. What it is, what I'll be doing, I don't know because I still don't know. You know what I'm saying? All I know is that I want to be the best. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get there. You know what I'm saying? All I know is I'm gonna use all my gifts to do my best. I'm gonna use all my gifts, and I'm gonna inspire the world to use their gifts because God gave us all. God gave us all a set of gifts. You know what I'm saying? Each of us have a gift that makes us different from anybody else in the world. And if we just trust the process, trust God, and trust ourselves, and use our gifts, amazing things start to happen. Amazing things start to happen. Technical difficulties. Anything that can happen will happen, right? It's all right, man. It's all good. It's all good, man. We gonna get it right. We gonna get it right. We gonna get it right. Absolutely. So, Shawn, I just want to welcome you to the 7th episode of season 2 of the Fly on the Wall show. I'm so happy and grateful to finally get to connect with you, my brother.
Javier, I mean, I'm happy to be here, brother. Like, it's my pleasure, and I'm looking forward to this interview.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before we even start, man, I just want to say, man, like this is an amazing opportunity that I'm so grateful for. Before the technical difficulties, I was saying on the other Zoom, I was saying like how this is one of the easiest interview processes that I've locked in since I started, and it was kind of mind-boggling to me because I was just like, wow, this is so easy. I'm like, how did you responded so quickly? Yeah, shout out to Chris. I don't want to butcher his name. He orchestrated everything so easy. I'm just like, damn, like this process has never been so easy for me. So that's how I knew it was meant to be. So I just want to thank you so much.
Nah, it's crazy that you said that. I try to. I come from very, very humble beginnings,
Absolutely.
and I worked my butt off to get to where I am today. And I always try to give back. I always try when I can. I mean, I'm only one man. I'm human, but I try to make myself as accessible to people like yourself who are making moves out there as humanly possible, because I know what it was like when I was coming up, and people who were in position, they act like you was never going to get to their level. They act like, they don't remember what it was like when they were struggling and trying to get into position. So whenever I see young brothers and young sisters really out here working hard, making power moves, putting the hours in, I try to make myself as accessible as humanly possible, and I try to make it easy. And I'm so happy to hear you say from the other side that this was a very, very easy interview for you to get. That's great.
It was I couldn't believe it, but I knew it was meant to be. So thank you so much, man. And for the people that don't know who you are, can you tell the people a little bit about yourself, sir?
Oh, absolutely. Shawn Prez. I don't even know where to start because I wear so many hats and I've had such a long career. But I'll start in my music industry days. I'm a guy who is a longtime music industry veteran, worked to help build what the world knows as Bad Boy Records and all of those subsidiary entities that Sean Combs has created, whether it is Ciroc Vodka at the time, Sean John Clothing, Revolt TV, all of those great things. Outside of that, I am the founder and CEO of Power Moves Inc. It is a grassroots and alternative marketing agency. I took a lot of the principles and a lot of the strategies and a lot of the techniques that I learned in terms of marketing records, and I just transitioned my skill set and began to market products and corporate brands. I built this into a very, very profitable agency. Additionally, I am the founder of Global Spin Awards. This Global Spin Awards, for anybody who is not familiar, it's the Grammys for the DJs. So the artists, they have the Grammys, actors have the Academy Awards, the DJs have the Global Spin Awards. And finally, and there's so many other things. I'm the founder and CEO of the New York DJ Con, which is an incredible annual event that celebrates music and DJ culture here in New York City, the Marriott Marquis Hotel. We do it once a year. So anybody who's aspiring to get into the DJ game, they can come, and it's kind of an expo / convention. And like I said, finally, I am kind of what we're doing here today. I'm a motivational speaker, and I really, really love to give back to our community because I am a son of the South Bronx, which is the poorest borough in New York City, extreme poverty. And I was able to make it out. And because I was able to make it out and do some successful things, I like to go back and motivational speak, educate, inspire others that if I could do it, I'm just one man. There's nothing remotely exceptional about me. It just was a combination of hard work, determination, and I would never, ever, ever give up. And, this is how I spend my days now, motivational speaking.
Wow. Thank you so much for the amazing intro. And for the people that don't know you, they're definitely going to know you now. Shout out to the Bronx. My girlfriend's actually from the Bronx.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, she's I don't want to butcher. I think somewhere like Needham Road or something like that. She went to school in like Westchester though, New Rochelle.
I'm sure. The Bronx is if you're from the Bronx, you kind of know every part of the Bronx. So I'm sure, I know where she's from, and I know, and we're all kind of interrelated in the Bronx. So I'm sure I know her people, or she know my people in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. But let's start from the beginning, man. So you got your start. How did you get your start in the music industry? Like, was that something you always wanted to do?
Interestingly enough, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And that's, here's the difference between me and most people. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I would not rest until I figured out what I wanted to do. For me, even when I didn't have a job, even when I didn't have 2 dimes to rub together in my pocket, I was always focused in saying to myself, Shawn, what is it that you want to do with your life? I understood I can go out there and get a job, and I did. I worked several 9-to-5s. I've been a hustler my entire life, from when I was a little boy packing bags or pumping gas for tips and doing things like that. I was the guy who out there, every time it snowed in New York City, I was knocking on your door with a shovel, like, look, I'll shovel your car out or shovel in front of your house, trying to earn extra money. But I knew I had greatness in me. I didn't think I had greatness. I knew I had greatness. I knew just because I was born poor, that wasn't going to be how my story ended. But me, like most people, I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Now, here's the funny part, right? And this is what I want people to really listen to. I grew up in the South Bronx. The South Bronx is the home of hip hop. So I was one of them kids who was always walking around with my earphones on. I was one of those kids who was always like, it didn't matter what time you saw me, I'm banging on the table, I'm repeating other people's rhymes. I just was a kid of hip hop. And I loved the entire culture from graffiti to breakdance, just to, hip hop as a culture. I loved it. But while I was out there, and I'm telling you God's honest truth,
Absolutely.
where some people go to work to a full-time job, my full-time job was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And everything that I thought I wanted to do, I figured out I would try it, and I figured out that's not what I want to do. Okay, cool. I tried this. I know I don't want to do that. I tried this. I know I don't want to do that. I tried this. I know I don't want to do that. But while I was out there on this pursuit, I came to understand that the answer was there with me all along. It never was very far from me. But me, like most people, we don't look at the thing that we love the most as something that we can make a career out of. Music to me was just something I loved. It was something I enjoyed. I knew everything there was to know about hip hop. Yeah. But I looked at it as, I'm a fan, and how do I make money at this? I'm not a producer. I don't write rhymes. I'm not technical savvy. Like, what can Shawn do? But when I finally gave in and understood the thing I love the most is the music. I love the culture. I love hip hop. I came to that, and that's the first thing, is submit. I don't care if you can't see the bigger picture. I don't care if you can't see how I'm going to make money at it, because some people might just like sewing. Some people might like, frying chicken. People might be good at doing hair, but you would say to yourself, how do I make money at this? How is this ever going to support my family? Forget that. Don't think that far. Just first and foremost, submit. This is my gift. This is what I love. This is the thing that I could do all day, every day, without it ever feeling like I'm at work. And when I finally just submitted to the idea that my gift, that the thing I love to do the most was music, God started opening doors for me and started to show me, Shawn, you don't have to be in front of a microphone. Shawn, you don't have to be the guy who makes beats. You don't have to be the guy who sits in the studio. And I came to see this whole other side of it, which was the business side that I was properly positioned to take over. And that's how, I kind of figured out in how I figured out what I wanted to do. And then I just started working toward getting in the music industry.
I'm trying not to bust a tear right now, because it's like you're speaking to my soul right now. But that's an amazing answer. Thank you so much, man. And for the people that don't know, you actually started off as an intern for Bad Boy Records. Can you talk a little bit about that? It wasn't your first internship getting there, so want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I just told you, and I love to inspire people, and I love to open people's eyes up to their own possibilities. So I wanted to first, because I know for me, one of the hardest things in the world was just figuring out what I wanted to do. But when you figure out what you want to do, that's only step A. That's you're happy. You finally got it. Like, oh, damn, I've been searching for this my whole life. I figured it out. But once you figure it out, it's like, okay, what are you going to do with it? Yeah. And that's a whole other ball game. So for me, I did what I always tell people to do to this day. And so many people don't listen to me. Yeah. You have to humble yourself. Even in life, when a child is born, they come out the womb, they can't do anything but cry. And their mother has to take care of them. And eventually they learn how to crawl. And from there, they start to get confidence. They understand I can move around. But they see their elders standing on two legs. And finally, they get up and they start to walk. And eventually, they start to run. And in our culture, everybody wants to be a boss out the gate. Everybody wants to run before they even was carried or before they was even crawling. And that's why so many people fail and they take L's. It's like, you humble yourself. So for me, to answer your question, I started out as an intern. I started out as an intern making $0. And when I say I was an intern at 4 different record labels before I eventually winded up at Bad Boy Records. So I was taking these internships because I just needed to get in the door. That was my version of crawling. I just needed to get in the door, understand the game, learn from people who were way ahead of me, be that fly on the wall, be that guy in the room that I could just close my mouth, sit and listen and watch how the greats do it, watch how they do business, start to understand the industry from the inside. But that comes with humility. And too often people, they don't think that they can trade their time if they're not getting paid. So everybody overvalues themselves out the gate. It's like, what? You want me to do an unpaid internship for how long? Nah, I got to go get money. I'm going to go start my own business. And that's why you fail, because you don't even know the game yet. You have to be willing to trade your time, because trading your time for experience is far more valuable. Everybody, I got this business, and 6 months, 7 months, a year later, you're out of business because you never ever learned or built your foundation. You didn't learn the game itself. So I took my first internship. I tried to get a job at Atlantic Records. They was like, nope. I interned there for about a year. And I'm talking about going down there, paying my own way, paying for myself to eat lunch, all of that stuff. Nope. I took 3 other internships after that. And it really messed with my self-confidence. They made me feel like I was unhireable. Like, yo, you're whack. It ain't us, it's you. And I know I was going hard. And finally, when I was about to give up, an internship opened up at Bad Boy Records. And this is how God works, man.
Absolutely.
When that internship opened up at Bad Boy Records, I wanted to quit. I had spent years of my life interning for free. Years. And I was like, maybe it ain't for me. Matter of fact, it ain't for me. Like if I ain't get a job by now, all my friends was getting jobs. It was like, yo, this ain't gonna never happen. But when I got to Bad Boy, it was everything that I was. It was young, hungry, aggressive, never take no for an answer, can't stop, won't stop. Young Black and brown people who were out to change the world. And I was like, I'm home. Like when I walked in on the first day as an intern, I was like, this is going to be the place that I make my mark in the industry. And if God had given me a job at any of them other labels, I would have probably worked there for a year or 2 and been gone and been, working a full-time job somewhere now, 9 to 5. But it was because I got all that experience, working as an intern at them other labels. By the time I got to Bad Boy, I was an uncaged beast, and I just excelled through the ranks.
Wow. I want to talk about that for a second. Just you were at your ends meet. You're ready to quit. You wanted to quit, wanted to throw in the towel, but the opportunity came. Like some people don't understand how close they are. Sometimes you're only 3 feet from gold, right? You're only 3 feet from gold, and it's just like, but as soon as you want to throw in the towel, it's times where you want to quit. Like, how important is it to not quit and to not quit on yourself and quit on your dreams?
That's one of the best questions you can ask, because understand something for your audience who's listening. Sometimes in this, you got to know the difference, right? Sure. Some things are for you, but God is priming you, he's prepping you, he's letting you go through the hard times up front so that you could be battle tested and ready for when that opportunity comes. So that's one thing, but some things are just not for you, right? And God needs to let you know this is not the area that you're ever going to excel in. You're not. And I say this because I'll give you a for instance.
Yes, sir.
And then I'll go into depth with your question. But
Yes,
you
sir.
have to know the difference.
Yes, sir.
I see some people who want to be recording artists, they want to be rappers, they want to be singers, they want to be whatever. But it's like, yo, if it ain't happened by the time you 35, 40 years old, maybe it ain't the industry. Maybe it's just you. But they're like, yo, this is what I want to do. And it's like at some point you got to know when to tap out and say, this is your dream, but it's not the dream that God had for you. Now you need to stop fighting against what God is telling you and wake up and understand that you're pushing an issue or you're pushing to go somewhere that maybe God don't want you to go for whatever reason. But then there's a other case, like with me. On the surface, it looked like this dream or this goal that I had for myself to get into the music industry and become this executive and become somebody who was a power player in the industry wasn't for me. But every time I would take an internship, get let go from the internship or whatever and take another one or whatever, I always came out of it with a lot more knowledge and a lot more connections and a lot more understanding of the industry than I went into it with. So it wasn't a case of this ain't for me. It was a case of this spot, this position, that wasn't for you, but keep going. So I would tell anybody, number one, learn the difference because it's sometimes what you're doing, it just ain't for you. You just have to be, you got to be upfront with yourself, like and honest with yourself. But there are other cases where you have to keep going and only you can make that distinction. Only you can say, no, I know I didn't get to the finish line yet, but maybe there's more preparation I need to do on my side. And in my case, it took me close to 6 years, 5, 6 years trying to get in this industry. But because I never, ever gave up, because I never, ever, ever threw in the towel, tapped out, when I finally got to that right place, my entire life changed. And I'm not saying it changed financially, or it just changed in everything about my life changed. I've traveled the world several times over. I have met people that I never thought that I would meet. I've been in rooms that I never thought that I would be in. And it all came because I stuck with it. So I would tell anybody, never, ever, ever give up.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Thank you so much for that answer. So, from the point that you were an intern to the point that you started to elevate, do you think that there was like a mindset shift within yourself? Do you think something within your mind shifted to get you to the next level?
And I'm sorry, I know we're taping this, but on your side, the video is coming through.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that right now. I was trying to ignore it. I was eating this all up. I'm not even sure what has happened.
Your audio is just fine. I don't know how you're gonna use it. I'll keep going with the interview if you want, but
yeah, absolutely. Let me see if
I don't know if you want to fix it and we continue and you just edit it. You tell me how you want to do it.
Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can stop the video and see if it goes back. It's better now?
Yep. Your audio was just fine. It's your video wasn't.
All right. No, I mean, honestly, like, I'm going to use it all, man. Like, I'm going to use it all. I feel like some of that was for me. Some of that was for me. So I receive it, man. Everything's how it's supposed to be. I'm grateful. Thank you so much for
Yes.
I seen it, but I didn't want to cut you off, man. So thank you so much.
Okay. So what was your question here?
So throughout your whole experience at Bad Boy, do you think there was like some type of mindset shift within yourself where it was some things that you didn't think that you could do but you're able to do, and it changed like throughout that whole 6 year stint? You felt like there was a mindset shift within yourself?
Throughout my 5, 6 years, I don't know how long it was of interning and trying to get in the music industry, working for free, getting told no, getting knocked down, getting back up. I don't know if it was a mindset shift because, and I don't want to sound cocky when I say this, but I believe in Shawn. Like I believe when I walk in a room, I don't lack confidence. Like I know I'm one of the baddest brothers who ever walked this planet. So I'm crystal clear about that. So while I was trying to get in the game, yes, it was knocking at my confidence here. It was making me feel as though, look, Shawn, is this really for you? But the mindset was always the same. I knew in my heart of hearts because I did the groundwork before.
Right.
I got quiet. I got in tune with my God and my inner voice. And when I figured out that the music industry was my path, I was locked. It was only a matter of time. And that's the thing that people have to really understand. And that's something that you have to know within yourself. Just because it's not happening now, just because you don't see the fruits of your labor today, you got to know it's going to happen. This is preordained. You have been destined to do this already. You don't know what God needs to put in place for you. You don't know who God needs you to meet. You don't know what experiences God needs you to go before he gives you the big stage. But when he gives you the big stage, you better be ready for it. And that's why I don't ever knock the process. I hate waiting. I hate working so hard and it feels like nobody's paying attention. Nothing's happening. It's like, damn, like, I'm doing everything I know how to do, but it seems like these doors are, they open it, but they open it slow as hell. Like, they taking their time to open. But eventually, you will get to where you're going. So for me, I don't know if it was ever a quote unquote mindset shift because I always had my mind on the fact that I was going to get in that game and I was not just going to get in it, but I was going to be a major player in the game. It took me longer than I thought it would. It was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but there was never a question that it wasn't going to happen. And that's the difference.
So it sounded like you had like that burning desire. Like you already knew you had that passion, that drive. You believe in the law of attraction?
I absolutely believe in the law of attraction, but I believe in something greater than the law of attraction. Like I'm a God-fearing man.
Absolutely.
People. So to answer your question in short form, yes, I believe in the law of attraction. But I believe when God got something for you, it ain't no man, woman, child, or beast that can keep you from achieving your destiny. It's yours. You just got to claim it and go after it. But the point is, most people stop believing somewhere in the middle of their pursuit because it hasn't happened yet. Yeah. So they go and they tap out and they do other things. So yes, I put it out there to the world or to the universe, but I'm a guy who several times a day is on my knees and I'm talking to my God and I'm thanking him in advance for doors that haven't been opened yet. I'm thanking him in advance for prayers that I prayed a year ago that just hasn't been answered yet. So I absolutely believe in the law of attraction, but I believe more than the law of attraction that God wants the best for us. God, like life is good. It's meant to be good. We make it hard. God will give you what you ask for, but you just got to believe it and be patient. But more important, you got to put in the work. The Bible says faith without works is dead. It's dead. So everybody and this has the thing with the law of attraction where people get it twisted, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I go more biblical than just saying the law of attraction, because people think, oh, I'm gonna put together my vision board and I'm gonna look at it every day and I'm gonna meditate on it. Oh, I'm going to, talk myself into the thing that I want, and I'm gonna see myself in the car I want to drive, or the house that I want to live in, or the neighborhood that I want to live in. All that's good, but if you ain't putting in the work, that's just fantasy land. It ain't gonna drop in your lap. For me, faith without works is dead. I have faith that I'm getting to the finish line, but I'm gonna put in the work, and I'm working harder than the average man to get there.
So what would you tell someone that, stop believing, like somebody that they want the best, but like, 'cause I know a lot of people, man, a lot of people that look at me and think my life is easy. They see certain things happening, but they don't know how hard I work. They don't believe how hard I believe, because I've been through some stuff, Shawn. But it's that belief that things will happen. They don't have that belief. Like, and sometimes it's hard for me to talk to these people because it's just like, they don't get it. Like, what would you tell someone that just stopped believing in themselves?
Well, the first thing I would tell them is drop to your knees. Like, I know this is not the politically correct answer,
Yes, sir.
but we go through very, very difficult times in our life. And I come from a spiritual family.
Yes, sir.
But like most people who came up with praying mothers and praying older members of the family, me and my brothers, we hit the streets. We wasn't like, I didn't want to hear nothing about that. But when you go through something, and I mean, like I know me and you were talking offline, and you was telling me about some stuff that you went through that is very difficult. Most people wouldn't have survived and been where you're at today. I know in my personal life over the years, I done been through some things, and I mean some things. So, people look at me, who I am today, but they don't look and understand all that I've been through to get here. And it's something when you come to know God for yourself. I know my mother prayed for me. I know that she kept us, me and my brothers, in her prayers. But truth of the matter is, Shawn Prez had to go through some stuff. And when I went through some stuff and I couldn't get out of it, and it was nothing but God at that point who revealed himself and said, look, you done relied on lawyers, you done relied on this, you done relied on that. Nothing came to you. But when you came to know me for yourself, that is when the door started opening. And that is when things started to change in your life. Knowing God for yourself is a whole different story. But to answer your question, that is where that belief comes from. And that's why I would tell people, people want to temporarily believe. They start out on a high. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then when it doesn't come to pass in 6 months, they're like, I don't know what happened. Maybe this wasn't for me. Well, you ain't never believed to begin with. You were just excited. Being excited and believing is two very different things. Believing is when everything is against you. I'm coming out of this. When every door is closed in front of you and all you hear is no after no after no after no, and I'm coming out of this. That is belief. And I would tell anybody, if you are being challenged with a lack of belief, drop to your knees, get in touch with your creator, because your creator wants the best for you. He really does. This life is meant to be good. It's us who mess it up. It's us who limit our blessings because we stop believing. And I'm living proof. Every day, I'm challenging myself to get to the next level of life. And them doors keep opening for me for a reason, because I won't stop believing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. One of the questions, I'm sorry, the energy, man. I love it, man.
Take your time, brother.
Thank you, man. I needed this, man. I really did. One of the questions that I like to ask all my guests that come on the show is, what is your definition of success, Shawn?
It's a great question.
Thank you.
Uh, Once upon a time, my definition of success revolved around how many zeros I had in my bank account. And that's, I'm just being honest with you. Uh, I equated success to money, to influence, to how many people knew my name, to how many people, you know, said Shawn Prez, and it was like, oh, you know Shawn Prez? The fact that I had the corner office, the fact that I had VP in front of my title, the fact that I was founder and CEO, to me, that was success. But I've come to realize that that's BS. That's man's success. And if you want to limit yourself to believing that your self-worth is only justified by the amount of zeros in your bank account, that is a very, very limited belief of who you really are and how powerful as individuals we really are. So over the years, my definition of success has changed drastically. It really, really has. If you ask me today this question,
Yes, sir.
what I'm doing right now, I come from the Bronx. I had 6 brothers, 1 sister, single parent household, poor as I don't know what. I made it out. But I do interviews like this. I speak publicly as often as I can. I give back as often as I can. I try to educate. I try to empower. I try to connect the dots between people who want to get from where they are to where they're trying to go. That to me is success, because if I can help somebody, if I can help somebody achieve their dreams, if I can help somebody change their life around, if I can help somebody see that just because I started here, it don't mean my life has got to end up here. And I'm looking at him. And if he did it, I can do it. That to me is success. And I'll tell you another thing. If I leave this earth tomorrow and there's a person on the other side of the country or the other side of the world who says, I listened to Shawn Prez in an interview that he did with Javier, and some of his words just changed my life. It just inspired me. It made me say, you know what? I got to get to work. My life, I know I've been living for X amount of years, but it ain't never too late to change my life. And they actually do it. That's my legacy. That's success. That's what life was always about for me. So that to me is what now I would say is my definition of success.
That's an amazing answer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. You know, and throughout all the things that you accomplish and you will accomplish, do you have any regrets?
Excellent question. Do I have any regrets? You know, there's a trade-off.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, you know, and I don't know that I look at it as a regret, but maybe if there's any, when you are out there and you're trying to get this money and you're hustling, you can't be in 2 places at once. You can't be home being that dad or that mom that is, when your kid comes home, you doing homework with them at 3 o'clock, you are prepping the dinner, you're the one that's sitting there reading bedtime stories and this, that, and third. I made a conscious effort to be financially successful. I did. But that required me being out of the house a lot. So if there's any regrets, maybe I would say I would have balanced my time at home a little bit more. But then again, Maybe if I did, you wouldn't be wanting to talk to me today. Maybe I wouldn't have the story that I have today. So there's always this balance. And don't think that success comes without a price.
Yeah.
And that's the price you're going to pay is time, the work you got to put in. What are you willing to do that somebody else who says they want it just as bad as you is not willing to do?
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. That was a great answer. That was a great answer, man. And I think you answered like majority of my questions, man. And it's so funny because really, really and truly, you know, I do this. I do this to provide value to, you know, to the people that I watch, but I really do this for me, right? Everybody I talk to, I'm able to take a piece of that information and absorb it, man. And I'm over here like I'm coughing, but it's like it's tears in my eyes because of the message, man. And it's like you don't really know like how much you really need something. Like these last 3-4 months of my life has been very harsh, and so to be able to kind of get this energy boost and this charge up, like I really needed it. So I know like even with the technical difficulties and everything that was going on, like all of this was purposeful. And I was meant to have this conversation with you to receive all of this. And so I just want to say thank you, man. I really appreciate you for sharing this time and space with me, man. I really do, man. Thank you so much.
Nah, you're more than welcome. And don't think for 1 second that this wasn't preordained for you. Like God know what you need. I'm the vessel. You know what I'm saying? I'm nothing more than that. Maybe this conversation is exactly what you needed to get you through whatever you're going through. And I am grateful that God used me to maybe say a word or two that you needed to hear. We didn't come into this conversation thinking that way. I came into this conversation thinking I'm gonna do an interview and I'm gonna give it my best, and hopefully I inspire somebody out there, not knowing that I was talking directly to you. But that's the way God works. And that's why you got to be connected to him. I tell anybody that y'all want to know the secret to success, get on your knees. It's as simple as that. I know it sounds like it can't be that easy. I'm telling you, it is that easy, because you can't get through this life. You just can't without having a connection to something greater than yourself. So I don't know who you pray to, or if you pray at all, pray to the universe, pray to whoever you want. But there is something greater out there. And until you acknowledge that, until you submit and come to acceptance that we are not just going through this journey and freestyling it, that it is something greater, I don't think any of us are ever going to be truly content. I really don't. So I'm just happy that God used me as the vessel in your life today.
Absolutely, and I received that. And I come from a praying household. Both my parents are ministers, so I received that. Thank you.
Okay, see that?
I know the vibes. Yes, sir. I understand, man. But I just want to, thank you for, joining me today on the Fly on the Wall show, man. It was an honor. And it was a pleasure speaking with you, man. And, if I can ever be of service to you, if there's any way that I can help you, I'm willing, so I definitely appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much.
And it goes both ways. If I could be of service to you, as you can see, don't judge me by my words, judge me by my actions. You said this is season 2, episode 7, which tells me that you have interviewed quite a few people before you interviewed me. But you started this interview off by saying how easy the process was. So when I tell you I'm here, I truly mean that. That's not words. I'm here. So if you need me and I am available, if you need me and I do have the resources, consider me an ally. Consider me somebody who wants to see you grow. And I would love, to come back whenever you need me on your show or anything else. I mean, I'm just a phone call or a text or a DM away. And as you can see, I made it very, very easy for you.
Yes, I received that, sir. I received that. Thank you so much. Is it possible that you could DM me your address? I'd love to send you a copy of my book. I have a book, The Metamorphosis of Me. It's a book of poetry and short stories that I created.
Yo, congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's crazy because throughout COVID, I just wrote my first book. So I know that is not an easy task. So for you to be an author, for you to have taken time out and sat and wrote your first book, congratulations, because that is not an easy thing to do.
Thank you so much. I dropped it during COVID. I thought of it like 2 years ago, but doubt, self-doubt, and life, I didn't do it. But I promised myself COVID hit. I was like, I started my show during COVID. I was like, nah, everything that I said I was gonna do, I'm gonna do it, man. And so my book, my show, everything started during COVID, man. So and here it is now. Trust the process, man. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to learn more about your book and get your book as well. So any way I can support you, just let me know, my brother, please.
Nah, I actually will do. I should be dropping my book sometime in the summertime. We're trying to
Absolutely.
figure out because we're now in the editing process.
Okay.
I wrote it just like you during COVID.
Yes, sir.
It's something I've been wanting to do and needed to do for years, and finally God gave us time. And that's another thing.
A
Before
blessing.
I leave this, for anybody who's listening, prior to COVID, we all complained. I know me, Shawn, I'm a workaholic. I'm somebody who works around the clock. And I would always complain like most human beings. I don't have time. People ask me to do something. Oh, I would love to do that. I just don't have the time. Well, guess what? God gave it back to us. And instead of sitting on your brand new PS5, your Xbox Series X, instead of sitting around smoking weed and kicking your feet up watching Netflix or whatever the heck you do, use this time that you have been given. Use it. God gave it to us. So when you tell me you wrote your book during COVID and you started your podcast during COVID, I applaud you because you're using the time that God gave you to benefit you for your long-term future. And right now, I know as I get older, there's no greater commodity on planet Earth. I know you think it's the money in the bank, but it's not. It's time because we can't get it back. That's the one money I can get back. Even if my health goes down, God willing, I can get that back. But time, I can't get yesterday back. I don't care what I do. I don't care how much money I got. I don't care how hard I try. I can't get it back. So time, you have to use it wisely. For anybody who's listening, please follow me at Power Moves Prez. POWER, M as in man, OVES Prez, which is my last name. P as in Paul, R as in Roger, E as in Elvis, Z as in Zebra.
Let me see the shirt a
Power
little bit.
Moves Prez. Yeah, there we go. This says Power Move Maker. This is my YouTube channel. So anybody who wants to go and visit my YouTube channel, a lot of incredible interviews with high-level CEOs, successful entrepreneurs. That is where you go and you can learn about any industry from people who are top of their game. And if you want to follow me on social media, all platforms is at Power Moves Prez.
We're going to say thank you so much, Shawn. This was an amazing conversation. I'm so happy and grateful I was able to speak with you and connect with you like this. And all I got to say is, man, God bless you. God bless you abundantly. I'm just grateful, man. Thank you so much, man. I can't wait to, connect even more and I'm just grateful, man. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Continue blessings and success. And I look forward to seeing your podcast top of the charts. So I'm rooting for you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And you have a great,
Be
blessed
good.
rest of your day. Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you. Y'all don't see me cry on this joint, man. I wasn't even trying to cry. I'm gonna say it was just coughing, man. But I just want to say, man, God is so good, and the universe is beyond abundant, man. Like this has been one of my I've not had a lot of interviews so far. It was 17, 16 interviews before, and by far this is one of the most life-changing interviews. Like this interview, man, like when he said he's a motivational speaker, he's not playing. Like I needed this. God gave me this. God said, yo, Javier, he was calling me Javier. I don't care. Like, hey, I've been used to Javier, But he said, Javier, you need this moment right here. You need this. You need this because it's one thing to, to watch these videos on Instagram and YouTube and, and stuff like that. But to hear it directly, eye contact, face to face, man, it's a life-changing experience, man. This life change. It's like he was talking directly to me. And as I kept, researching his story, I was just like, yeah, man, I gotta talk to this brother, man. And so that was Shawn Prez, man. He gave you his, I'm gonna be posting this video. I'm gonna chop it up. I have some technical difficulties in there. I don't really care. This is ordained. I don't care. I'm not about the glitz and the glamour. They're perfect. They're perfect. I just put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like I care about how it looks, man. But it was so much value in here that I don't even care. The technical difficulties, the beginning. The Zoom wasn't working and all kind of stuff. I did this nice intro on the last one. It don't even matter. This moment right here is what matters. This transfer energy, man, and love. This has been another episode, man, of the Fly on the Wall show, bro. And yeah, man, this was my favorite one, man. This was ordained by God Himself. Shout out to God. I love you, God. I'm grateful, man. And shout out to Sean. Make sure y'all shout out for y'all. Make sure y'all shout out Sean, man. Yeah, shout out to God. Shout out to God. Shout out to God.